Anthony Herrera starts out serving against David Bobby Horn. This is game one of our second quarterfinal. Side out for Horn. And the first point for Bobby Horn. Now all top 8 seeded players are in the quarterfinals here this weekend, which makes for some very exciting matchups. Our first quarterfinal of the day was Jake Bredenbach versus Alex Landa. Landa winning 15-12, 15-14, which means he will move on to the semifinals later this evening. First semifinal this evening is at 5 p.m. and the next semifinal at 6. Bobby Horn, being the number 3 seed this weekend, only had to start in round 16s where he defeated number 19 Roth Smith Jr. 15-4, 15-9. For serving one in game one, Anthony Herrera serving. Point for Anthony Herrera. Bobby Horn not looking too sharp out there yet. Maybe he's just taking some time before he finds his groove. Bobby's been a little sick this weekend. Hopefully he can shake that off and regain focus in his match against Anthony Herrera. Horn's going to take a timeout against Anthony Herrera. We'll be back with more of game one in just a few moments. And we're back live at the Thousand Oaks YMCA, where Anthony Herrera is in the lead against David Bobby Horn. Bobby Horn calling that timeout, hoping for a side out here. Our referee is Jake Bredenbeck. Anthony Herrera wanting to take control of this game. He was saying earlier that he likes playing on these courts. He remembers them from last year, and it's good for his game. So it looks like he has a strong opening here against David Bobby Horn. Some nice gets from Herrera. And a swing and a miss. Pretty short serve from Horn. Horn ranked number 3 on the WRT and seeded 3 this weekend. You want to check out the draw, go to bit.ly/Alamo City 15. Point for Horn. Two serving 6. And a skip for Herrera, a couple errors in a row now, giving Bobby some points. And a sliding get from Herrera, keeping it alive. Out of reach for Horn, gives Anthony the side out he's looking for. He's also checking for some wet spots. It's pretty humid in San Antonio. It's been really warm so far this weekend. Little humidity. It was raining today. So far, it doesn't seem to be affecting the courts too much. There's a screen serve. We'll get a second. And a big kill from Anthony Herrera on the right side. Gives him a point now, up by 4. Bobby able to capitalize on that easy setup for the side out. Unforced error for Anthony Herrera, puts Horn back in the box. Anthony keeps it alive. Good rally for Bobby Horn as Anthony's getting a little frustrated. But he has a lot of experience as a pro, especially on the WRT, so I'm sure he could shake himself out of it. And it's 4 serving 7. Side out for Anthony. He's not going to let Bobby get too many points against him in that run. Nice pinch kill from Horn, puts him back in the service box. Let's see what he can do against Herrera. Finding his serve. Nice get from Anthony. And a nice pinch to end that rally. It's going to be a point for Herrera. Don't forget, fans, you are invited to vote for the 2015 Year-End Player Awards. You can vote at bit.ly/WRT vote. Vote for the Rookie of the Year, the Most Improved Player, the Sportsmanship Award, and fill in the blank for the fan favorite. 8 serving 4 in game 1 of our second quarterfinal of the day. What a nice footwork there from Bobby for the side out. The quarterfinal coming up after this features Jaime Martel and Felipe Munoz. And our last quarterfinal of the Alamo City Open is Alex Cardona versus Nicolai Miramontes. Now the winner of Herrera versus Horn will move on to the semifinals tonight at 5 p.m. against Alex Honda. And a jumping get for Bobby. Chasing it down again. Ooh, and that ball's down. Bobby Horn winning that rally. point for Bobby Horn, who's stuck at 4-8 here for a couple rallies, and now Bobby getting that scoreboard moving. Unforced error gives Herrera the side out. Ooh, and nice cross court from Bobby, has Anthony chasing it down, can't get there in time. Screen serve. Both players seem to be missing some opportunities to kill the ball early, and leads us to some longer rallies, but and an ace serve for Bobby Horn, 7-9. Bobby finding his groove right now as he closes the gap and forces Anthony Herrera to take a timeout. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more of our second quarterfinal of the Alamo City Open. And we're back here where we have Alex Landa. We're going to get a few words from the winner. Alex Landa defeating Jake Bredenbeck earlier today in our first quarterfinal of the day, 15-12, 15-14. Landa, you came from behind in both. Both games. How was that for you? How was that match against Jake?
Yeah, I came from behind two times, like you said. It's not easy to play against Jake. It's always a tough match, and I just keep my game. I just keep concentrate. I knew he was gonna give me a chance, so I just took it, and I got lucky at the end. So.
Well, we're happy you could make it to our year-end event here at the Alamo City Open. I'm sure you're going to go get ready for your next semifinal. What are your thoughts on the tournament so far?
Yeah, no, it's a fun event. It's my first time here, so I'm happy to be here. So I enjoy every moment, every WRT tournament. It's special for me. I always play good. It's fun.
Yeah, you're a six-time WRT champion. In fact, you're the only player who's ever won in Juarez. So congratulations,
Thank
4
you.
Juarez
Thank
titles.
You. Yeah, so yeah, I just enjoy the moment and having fun with friends.
All right, well, great. We wish you the best in the semifinals, and maybe we'll bring you back after that. Keep
Sure.
winning. We'll see you in the finals later.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alex Landa, ladies and gentlemen, will be playing in the semifinals tonight at 5 p.m. against the winner of Anthony Herrera and David Bobby Horn. Anthony Herrera now still in the lead in game one. These two very evenly matched as we have number 6 serving against number 3. out for Horn. Ooh, and that ball squeaks by Herrera, and a point for Horn. That's going to tie it up now, 10-10 in game one. Another exciting quarterfinal matchup. Unforced error for Bobby. I know Bobby's been a little sick with some sniffles and a cold here this weekend. His throat's been bothering him, so that's got to add to some of his being out of breath a little bit. Unfortunate for Bobby. But he's doing pretty well here against Herrera. All tied up now, 10-10. Some great retrieving from Bobby Horn, but Anthony able to put it away from deep in the court for a point, putting him in the lead now, 11-10. Two in a row for Herrera. Coming back with a vengeance. Side out for Horn. His chance to answer back against Herrera's two-point run there. Very short serve. And that's a tough ball to return for Horn. And another side out for Bobby Horn. Now both David Bobby Horn and Anthony Herrera are Gearbox sponsored players, and Gearbox has a special offer for all of you watching at home this weekend. They're giving 10% off your entire purchase with the code WRT10. That's all lowercase WRT10. Go over to gearboxrb.com, do some holiday shopping. I'm sure there's some friends and family members watching and sitting with you that would be very excited to receive some Gearbox products, and this weekend is the weekend to do it. You're going to get 10% off Gearbox, your entire purchase with the code WRT10. Still 12-10 in game one, as these two are very evenly matched in our second quarterfinal of the day. Coming up after this, Jaime Martel versus Felipe Munoz. That's number 4 versus number 5. Second serve for Anthony. Anthony Herrera inching his way towards 15 now, 2 away from potentially closing out game one. Disconnected. 11-13. Now 12-13 is Bobby Horn very close to tying this up. There he goes, tying it up, 13-13. Another tied first game. We saw that with Jake Bredenbeck and Alex Landa. We also saw Landa come from behind, just like Bobby Horn is now coming from behind against Anthony Herrera. Anthony keeping it alive. Just out of reach, that puts Horn in the lead now, 1 point away from closing out game one, 14-13. Anthony's gonna wipe down the court. Bobby starting to find his groove there in the second half of the game. Probably had to shake off as he got started there. For those of you watching at home, don't forget you can vote all day for the player awards at bit.ly/WRT-vote. You can vote for Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, and Sportsmanship Award. Plus, we have a special fan favorite where you can write in the name of your player. So if you don't see him nominated there on the list, you can go ahead and add him. Anthony Herrera taking a timeout, seeing if he can throw Bobby Horn off his rhythm right now. Bobby finding that rhythm as he warms up, shakes off some of that cold, and gets used to the courts here in San Antonio. Bobby Horn defeated Ross Smith Jr., number 19 seed here at the tournament, 15-4, 15-9 to get here. Anthony Herrera had 2 matches starting in round 32s. He defeated number 27 Cesar Delgado and number 22 Tyrone Gilmore, 7-9. Herrera's back out on the court, ready to go. Game point for Bobby Horn. Second serve. Keeping tensions high. And there he goes, putting it away, 15-13. Bobby Horn winning game one. That means we'll be back with more of our quarterfinal between David Bobby Horn and Anthony Herrera. Game two coming up right after this.
Hey everybody, Anthony with Gearbox. Have you ever wondered when or why you should get your racket restrung? What signs to look for? Well, I'm here to shed some light on those questions. First, we need to talk about the function of a good string bed. The main purpose of the string is to stretch upon the impact of the ball, then snap back in a consistent manner. This is called the string's resiliency. Basically, a higher resiliency means you decrease the amount of mishits, and we all could use a little bit of that. Now that we know the function of a good string, we can talk about why you should restring your racket. This will involve 3 major points: string breakdown, tension, and notching. Number 1, string is primarily composed of plastic. Plastic is susceptible to a process called creeping. Creeping is the breakdown over time due to overuse and exposure to UV rays. Inside the string, there is moisture and oils. In the creeping process, those get lost and string becomes dry and brittle. The second focus is on string tension. You might not realize it, but string immediately loses its tension once it's played with. It will relax to a much lower tension after the first game of play. So if you're one of those people that like it tight, you better get your racket restrung regularly. Third, after repeated hitting, string will have an effect called notching. Notching is when the string makes a notch or a groove at the cross point of 2 strings. When you have these notches in the string does not stretch and snap back efficiently. Lastly, you probably want to know how often you should get your racket restrung. The Gearbox general rule of thumb is to restring your racket the same number of times you play a week. So if you play about 3 times a week, we suggest you restring your racket about 3 times a year. If you have any questions about string, what type to use, different levels of tension, or general questions about our products, feel free to call one of our specialists or shoot us an email and we'll gladly help. That's all for now. Time for me to go restring my racket.
And we're back live at the 2015 Alamo City Open. I'm Laura McCormick with the WRT. And this is game 2 of our second quarterfinal of the day. We have David Bobby Horn coming back from the deficit to win against Anthony Herrera 15-13. Anything can happen. It's game 2. And Bobby Horn opening up game 2 with the first point. Side out for Anthony Herrera. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with tournament director Mike Cantu. Mike, how is the tournament going for you so far this weekend?
It's going really well. We're running ahead of schedule, so life is good behind the tournament desk when we're running ahead of schedule. People are walking in, and we have court ready for them. So life's pretty good in that manner.
Awesome.
You know, we always love having the WRT coming out here to San Antonio, and you know, just enjoy watching all the great competition that the WRT brings here. You know, Splathead always helps us out and make sure that we have what we need as far as all tournaments, not just this one, but all tournaments. And the YMCA is always gracious enough to let us use this facility.
Yeah,
so
it's a beautiful facility.
Takes a lot of people to put it on, and it all really runs smoothly. People don't see all the workings behind the behind the scenes and the hours of work it takes to put it on, but it all comes together, and we get to see all these smiling faces here and having a good time, enjoying the sport we love to play.
Excellent. Well, we definitely appreciate all the hard work you guys have put into the tournament. It's been wonderful so far. Everyone's been really nice. The YMCA is a beautiful facility, and they give us everything we need. So thank you so much, and thank you to the sponsors, of course, for making this event possible.
Absolutely, and we look forward to, you know, keeping this tournament alive and making sure that we keep running it year after year.
Yeah, we'll be back next year, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, well, thank you, Mike. We'll let you get back to the tournament desk. Thanks very much. Ball just kind of squeaks by David Horn, and it's a point for Herrera, 3-4. Side out for Bobby Horn. Of course, we'd like to thank all the sponsors for making this event possible here this weekend. The YMCA Thousand Oaks, Alamo City Racquetball Association, Splathead Racquetball, Gulf Coast Graphics, the Reaching Your Dream Foundation for supporting players and helping them get to events like this, and of course the title sponsor, Gearbox. They also provide the official ball of the WRT, that's the Gearbox Black Ball. Side out for Anthony Herrera, it's 3 serving 5. another side out. These guys kind of stuck here in game 2, very evenly matched. Ooh, almost, but didn't make it. And a side out. Looks like he didn't check the receiver. Bobby had his racket up, and Anthony served anyway. That's a side out. And an ace from Horn answering back. Unforced error gives Bobby Horn another point. Now 2 quick points in a row to move the score to 7-3. Second serve. Anthony Herrera very frustrated now with a couple points there for Bobby, and Jake Bredenbeck, our referee, giving Anthony a warning. Anthony sides out Horn. And a point for Anthony. And Herrera answering back with 2 points in a row for himself, making it 5-7. White court, they're going to wipe that down as Bobby Horn steps back into the service box. Of course, those of you watching at home, you can keep up with the WRT on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And as I mentioned, we have a special player awards that we're opening up the voting to the fans. You can vote at bit.ly/WRT vote. And you can find out who won by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's where we'll be posting the winners, so stay up to date with the WRT. 5 serving 7 now as Herrera sides out Horn. Ooh, and an interesting bounce there for the ball, and a lucky shot for Bobby Horn. Nice shot selection from David Bobby Horn, burying that ball in the corner, giving him a point. Looks like Anthony Herrera is calling a timeout as he walks off the court after talking to the ref. We'll be back with more of game 2 in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Now we're back live in game 2 from the WRT 2015 Alamo City Open. Bobby Horn in the lead over Anthony Herrera.
8-5.
2 points in a row for Anthony Herrera after his timeout. Nope, sorry, that was a side out. My bad. Looks like Anthony just got a technical. Technical. Just kidding, he didn't get a technical. It's 6 serving 8. Didn't he say technical, or what did he say? And a perfect serve from Horn for an ace. Two in a row for Horn. Another point for Horn as he breaks out a 5-point lead against Anthony Herrera. Herrera looking for a call from our ref. Ref says he's going to replay it. Anthony going for a soft touch, but turns it into an unforced error. Nice shot from Horn. Another point, 12-6. Herrera taking a timeout. We'll be right back with more, seeing if Horn can close out. And we're back live where David Bobby Horn is walking back out on the court here at Thousand Oaks YMCA. This is the WRT 2015 Alamo City Open, where Bobby Horn is in a position to close out Game 2 and close out the match against Anthony Herrera. Last couple events, Bobby's had some trouble closing, so we'll see if he can stay strong against Anthony Herrera. Here we go. And a point for Horn. That's not what Herrera was looking for with that timeout. Bobby staying strong in Game 2. Match point for Bobby Horn. And with that, Horn slips it past Anthony Herrera, winning the match 15-6. That means David Bobby Horn will be continuing on to the semifinals tonight against Alex Landa. Make sure you guys tune in at 5 p.m. for that. I'm Laura McCormick with the WRT, but don't go anywhere. There's 2 more quarterfinals coming up later today. Coming up next, Jaime Martel versus Felipe Munoz, and then Alex Cardona versus Nicolai Miramontes. We'll be back in 10 minutes with Martel versus Munoz.